So, what brings you to the end of the world?
In the upcoming months, you'll be trained to face enemies that make most men flee in terror. You'll fight nightmares. You'll bring hope in the darkness. You'll stand vigil on the line between life and death.
This isn't the first time the dragons have risen.
How far back does the history here go?
Hundreds of years. In some cases, 1,000 or more.
Written history spanning hundreds of years. It seems an inefficient way to pass on knowledge.
The world will not forget you. The scars you've gouged into it spell out your name for all to see.
In my dream, I saw dragons and a spire of light that drove them off.
Do you think we can defeat them? Do you really believe we can reclaim our world?
Maybe, but there may be just too much that even time cannot erase.
No one trusts me anymore. I swear I won't harm you.
Do you know where your god is? Ours is here, now.
Finally found a place worse than ore. We should burn the damn jungle to the ground.
Damn the odds! I want revenge! I want that dragon crushed to sand!
Facing certain defeat, the doomed king refused to surrender.
So you dreamed the vigil before you were born?
I saw a white candle on a black field, a sword held against darkness.
But how did you know this was where you should go?
Ah, I followed the light, of course.
Let me in.
Alright guys, so for years now, I've had this project that I've been working on in the background. Like, it will take me away for weeks at a time, where I'm really trying to figure out how to do a great lore video or a lore series for you all, specifically that would recap basically everything that there is to love about Tyria and what the plot has been so far. And the first time I was really looking into this was maybe 2018 or so. It was just before the Icebrood Saga, where I knew Guild Wars 2 had now been going long enough, even back then, to sort of be equivalent to how long Guild Wars 1 had been going when I did the original lore series that recaps the first game in anticipation for the sequel. And I thought, well, look, there's enough subject material here now that could totally work. You know, I was very inspired, especially by Dreamy Abaddon's Living World Season 1 recap video that basically just dumped a huge amount of the content and from various content creators and all different concept art and cutscenes and stuff into one long video. And it did really well because it was one place where people could go to really catch up on all that stuff. And, you know, I saw problems with what Dreamy Abaddon did. So I wanted to make my own thing, and it started out as like this big, broad franchise idea, and then I thought, no, this is too big in scope, I need to refine it in, and I ended up making just the Living World Season 1 recap. If you remember from years ago, I did just Living World Season 1. Now, I think the video I did there as a lore cap is way better than, you know, the hodgepodge of mismatched collage of different pieces of footage and audio quality and so on that's in the Dreamy Abaddon one. But what I noticed after I made that video, and that was kind of like a thin slice of what this broader thing would be, I noticed it really didn't get that much viewership. People weren't really that interested, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of passion that I could be putting in other stuff into a video like that. And then, you know, if it doesn't do that well, I mean, most people don't even remember that I did a Living World Season 1 recap video of that bar of quality. So then I kind of put it on the back burner, looked at it a little bit at the Icebrood Saga announcement. Much more importantly, I looked at it again when End of Dragons teaser dropped and that was announced. But then I kind of decided it was too early. I had another the most recent serious effort I put into this was probably last Halloween. That's when I made that little montage intro that you just watched. And I'm actually really happy with that montage. Maybe I chop and change a few things, but that's probably how it would intro. And I actually made another, 35 to 45 minutes of video after that intro that I'm not showing you here today because I'm not too sure I really believe in the order I was telling the story in and the way that it kind of all went. So last Halloween was the last big effort, and I think the main reason I put it down, I mean, there were several reasons I put it down, but one of them really was I just stopped believing that the studio cared about Guild Wars 2 or was going long term with Guild Wars 2 or that it would ever recover in population numbers to what it used to be, where videos like that would really feel gratifying and worthwhile making, and I still couldn't figure out the format. In just the past couple of months, when I thought End of Dragons was about to come out this summer, I tried another version of it, more efficient to make, the immersive recap, happen. I did a big montage there, glossing over the whole game, more for veterans this time, and that didn't do well either. However, right now I'm feeling really invigorated by a lot of the news, and I really do want this thing. I want a single video that's got this huge community response around it where it's like, okay, what do I do for the Guild Wars 2 story? I just watch this. And I see it in other franchises. I see the Halo franchise has such videos. I see WoW franchise has such videos. Any big game that's really got a long story, people have managed to do like these supercuts, these like abridged versions of it where you can sit down and it will take several hours, but you will be able to experience it. So I think that's the format I want to go for. I want to explain in one place everything about like the setting of Tyria, and then to do an abridged telling that leans on the in-game cutscenes and all that stuff of Vanilla, Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, the Icebreed Saga, right up till today. And what I can do is, that will be a great one-stop shop for people to watch before End of Dragons comes out. And then the great idea is once End of Dragons releases, I can just kind of create an End of Dragons chapter and attach it to the end of the video, so to speak, and then you still have this same thing. Again, I've seen like equivalents of that going on over with Halo. So I really like this concept. The thing with this, though, being as long form as it's going to be, is it will rely a lot more on in-game voice acting, on in-game cutscenes, maybe even those side-by-side cutscenes coming up very regularly across the video. I'll use discretion and I'll cut it down where I think it's most important to be cut down as an abridged series. But that means I just need a ton of footage. So another kind of thing that I've been working very diligently on since probably like 2017 is actually on my hard drive, personally. I don't host any of this stuff online. I have like a pack rat hoarded away and gathered every version of every trailer, piece of concept art, audio track, anything you can imagine, as long as it's official from the studio. I've like got it in a massive library that I can pull from at any point and make videos. The one big gap in my library, really, is having well-ordered, clear access to like all the story cutscenes and all of the audio that goes on, say, in the personal story and stuff, most of which isn't actually replayable or easy to get, access to. Like, if I want a little moment, like that opening montage, one of the clips I'd like in that is Ritlock screaming, "Logan, you're alive!" and then maybe Logan responding. I think that would work well there. But I don't actually have footage of that that doesn't have, like, music in the background and doesn't have annoying sound effects in the background. You'll actually notice the Joko audio I have back there does have background noise there, which annoys me, but I've managed to push it down a bit. But I don't have clear access to that because I haven't recorded it. So it's like, okay, do you want to spend a whole hour for 2 seconds of audio that's overlaying on one tiny element of the video just to get to the end of a RAR? So what I want is that gap in my library filled. All of this is to say, over this next week-ish, I'm going back to Twitch. I haven't been on Twitch for ages. But what I'd like to do is I'm going to play through the whole game with all of my like footage very clean and the audio very clean. I probably won't even have music on so that I can cut my own music on the videos. And that way I will end up with, like a 9 or 10 hour long, length of footage. Maybe it's snipped in certain places that I'll know, okay, this is the whole personal story. And if I ever want to get, the meeting of Destiny's Edge in the in Lion's Arch around level 30, I know proportionally where I can just track to, and it should be there. And once I've got that, I can start working on this bigger bridge series. I can start cutting that down, and then that would become like the first chunk of the video eventually. Once I've edited it all up, that would be, the first hour or whatever it's going to be depicting the personal story. And then it would transition straight into Living World Season 1. Maybe I just dump that previous video I did wholesale on there, maybe tweak it a little bit, and then on and on and on. My imagination is that by the end of this, there will be like this big epic, like 5 or 6 hour primer that someone can sit down and watch. It's like a Peter Jackson movie or something. And, even if you're a complete noob, you can play the game, have that on a second monitor, and you'll know everything there is to know about the story, and you'll be excited and so on. So that's my idea. I'm still really uneasy about it. This is a project and just a concept that I have never found my footing with for years and years and years. And I've never talked to you guys about it online because you know, I want to kind of surprise people and make sure that it looks good, and I don't want to disappoint people. That's the main thing. I talk about it online, and now there's like this obligation, and I disappoint people, and then I get all like these negative feelings of like, am I making this video because I want to make it, or just because I feel bad about disappointing people? And it's this horrible negative spiral. So I try to avoid it, but you know, it's been long enough now, and it's a reason to get you guys to know why I'm over on Twitch. So that's kind of what this video is. It's an announcement of what I've been doing, and it's to inform you that probably right this second, I am live on Twitch playing through the whole game. I want to get... If I can get through all of Core today, that would make me really happy. That would be the first block of the library done. And, you know, I can make some real headway. So, that's the idea. I'm going to strike while the fire's hot. Thanks very much for watching, guys. There's a link to the Twitch at the top of the description. And if you click that and I'm not live, you know, you can click follow and it will notify you when I next do, or, you know, whatever. Just keep your eye out, because I'm sure that a good proportion of the next couple of days I will be there. So thanks, everybody. And I will see you very soon, hopefully. Ta-ta.